Alright, what is up YouTube? Alien Horizon 02 here today, playing some Nine Souls, an Indie Metroid Vania, and one of our favorite games from 2024. In this video, we're going to be showing the 2D platformer journey to Lady Ethereal, the 5th boss in our Nine Souls series of all the boss fights with no direct damage. I'll do my best in pronouncing the names. Yi unknowingly encounters Lady Ethereal when he enters the Cortex Center for the first time. Lady Ethereal alters Yi's perception of the area, causing him to view her vital sanctum and the room as empty. When Yi tries to exit the room, he finds himself reappearing through the other entrance to the room. Yi then experiences blood raining from the ceiling of the room and frightening visions of Lady Ethereal. Yi doesn't comment on these anomalies. After defeating Jiatran, Rui calls Yi and informs him that the firewall at the Four Seasons Pavilion has intercepted a strange signal. While whatever is sending the signal hasn't done anything, Rui worries that it might be dangerously close, and prompting Yi to return to investigate the matter. Upon Yi's return, Rui explains that while he attempted to analyze the signal, he hasn't been able to parse out any meaningful information from it, claiming that the signal's random and nonsensical waveforms defy interpretation. However, Rui is able to trace the signal to its source, the Cortex Center. Yi enters the Cortex Center and discovers that the central room contains what appears to be a funerary display. A large cloth doorway occupies the middle of the room and the front of a large pile of red flowers. Two flower wreaths possessing butterfly motifs, resembling wreaths used in funerals, are situated to the sides of the doorway. Yi enters the cloth doorway, which transports him into a beautiful, opalescent area and endless skies and mountains. There, he finds Lady Ethereal resting at the edge of a hot spring. Additionally, Yi's mystic nymph flies into a flower in the hot spring that wraps around it, trapping it and preventing Yi from using it. Lady Ethereal seems to recognize Yi at first, but doesn't recall who he is. Yi questions where they are and what she did with the mystic nymph, but a confused Lady Ethereal is unable to recall the answer to either question. She invites him to enjoy a soak in the hot spring, telling him to take it easy and make himself feel at home. Distrustful but seeing no way forward, Yi complies and strips down, entering the hot spring for a bath. As Yi baths, Lady Ethereal asks him who he is. Yi responds that she knows perfectly well that he's here and threatens her, demanding that she surrender and give him her soul seal, or he would take her life. Lady Ethereal rambles about the beauty of her soul seal, misinterpreting Yi's demands for its desire to obtain beautiful things in general. She tells him that she has many beautiful things and that he can take whatever he likes. Lady Ethereal remarks that the area is pretty, describing the beauty of how the sun shines beautifully off the mountains and how the water shimmers radiantly, and how she and Yi have a big group of friends to enjoy the area's beauty with. Yi is left confused by the end of her remark as he can only see the two of them. When he attempts to correct her, Lady Ethereal gasps, chiding Yi for saying something that could give people the wrong idea. She begins speaking to Xiao Yi, asking Xiao Yi to grill some delicious fish for their friend, encouraging Xiao Yi to not be shy and interact with Yi. Lady Ethereal apologizes and explains that they don't receive many guests, introducing Yi to her friends from her lab. She recalls that she and her friends spent days and nights working at their research, and remembers that Yi was present during the research too. Yi initially takes this to mean that Lady Ethereal finally recognizes who he is, but soon reveals that she cannot, and when she asks him if he knows Yi, talks about his habit of wearing skin-tight clothing every day and requests that he inform Yi that she misses him and asks him to drop by their lab when he's free. Yi leaves the hot spring and begins to traverse the rest of the area, discovering that when he travels far enough, he eventually loops back to the hot spring where Lady Ethereal is. The first time Yi loops, he gains the ability to see Lady Ethereal's 8 companions, as all of them are bathing in hot springs. Initially, these 8 companions all speak normally and friendly, however each successful loop causes a portion of them to begin to blame Lady Ethereal for her actions, reflecting her intense guilt. Through each loop, Yi gradually uncovers more of Lady Ethereal's memories in the form of memory fragments. Following the first loop, Lady Ethereal tells Yi that she's experienced a nightmare. In this nightmare, she became inflicted with a disease that she became progressively worse, that despite many attempts to conceal, continued to spread beneath her skin. Yi realizes that Lady Ethereal is dreaming, and seeing that she is distressed, implores that she stop talking and stay calm. He explains that they're in her soulscape, the virtual dream system that she designed. This explanation restores some of Lady Ethereal's lucidity, and she recognizes who Yi is and recalls that she and her team had been designing the soulscape system, and that he was the one who invited her to work in the Tiando console. She tells Yi that she was an honor for her and her team to work in the team, and asks her team to confirm her praise. Yi tries to convince that her and her friends aren't actually in the soulscape, and that they're only illusions generated by her brain, but Lady Ethereal dismisses his words. Lady Ethereal asks Yi how she knows that they're in a dream, questioning what he believes is reality and a dream to be. She poses the question of whether or not a distinction between reality and dream exists, or if reality is just people deferring to whatever they desire. Lady Ethereal's life as a soul. At some point after joining the council, Lady Ethereal was invited to become a soul and was given the soul seal signifying benevolence. This was likely in relation to her research on soulscapes. Toward the end of the Origin era, Lady Ethereal and the 8 companions established a research team dedicated to creating the Soulscape system, a hibernation system theoretically designed to overcome the previous pitfalls of placing Solarians in hibernation pods. This theoretical system intended to improve on previous hibernation systems by providing slumbering Solarians with a blissful virtual reality. This team believed would eliminate the issue of previous systems, which was that the slumbering Solarians would suffer brain death after prolonged hibernation. The team was able to bring this theoretical system into reality after being invited by Yi to join the Tiando Council, which designated the team as a special unit and gave them the means to develop the Soulscape system. To test the Soulscape system, Lady Ethereal's 8 companions were selected to participate in a 30-day observational period of the system. Each of them was placed in a dedicated vital sanctum, where they would be placed in hibernation and immersed into soulscapes to maintain brain activity. Before commencing the observational period, Lady Ethereal met with Zahi, who was her best friend, lab partner, and romantic partner, who voiced her faith in Lady Ethereal's designs, bidding her lover farewell for 30 days. Initially, the soulscape was deemed a success, as the subjects had managed to awaken from hibernation without suffering brain death. Lady Ethereal greeted Xiaohe upon her awakening, asking her how she felt and if she was okay. Tragically, the mental states of the test subjects rapidly deteriorated. The soulscape system produced such blissful dreams that waking up from them and returning to reality was akin to waking up into a living hell. Unbearable to the reality of living outside of the soulscape, the test subjects resorted to drastic means, including ending their lives. 2 were left in catatonic states, 1 tore out his left eye, and 1 attempted to strangle Lady Ethereal to death. Ultimately, all 8 test subjects ended up taking their own lives. Despite the major flaws present in the soulscape system, owing the graveness of the Tian pandemic, Lady Ethereal was forced to pretend that the soulscape system was operational. During the pandemic, in a council meeting with fellow Soul Yi, proposed the Eternal Cauldron project as a means to buy time for the development of the tea cure. A major component of this project was Lady Ethereal's soulscape system, which was believed was capable of overcoming issues encountered by previous systems. Lady Ethereal was forced to lie and claim that the system only had minor flaws, which she would patch out. Instead, Lady Ethereal claimed that the only issue with the system would be figuring out how to generate the massive amounts of computational power required to run soulscapes for all of the Solarians aboard New Kunlun. In the next council meeting, he explained how he would generate the massive amounts of computational power required to run the soulscapes, and that he would do so by harvesting brains from primitive humanoid creatures on the pale blue planet, which was located 500 light-years away from Penglia. Lady Ethereal questioned the ethics of harvesting brains from living beings, but was quickly silenced by Gomong and Jiatran's approval of Yi's plan. In accordance with the Eternal Cauldron project, Lady Ethereal was assigned responsibility over the central core and was forced to allow the soulscape system to be deployed altogether. When the council announced the Eternal Cauldron project, she was forced to lie and claim that the system had no issues and that the soulscape tests were successful. It is implied that Lady Ethereal's experienced the late stages of the T-virus infection. Her physical body perished, leaving behind only her brain and consciousness, which were forcibly preserved within a special vital sanctum equipped with life support systems. Wishing to end her life, Lady Ethereal disconnected herself from these life support systems, but found that she was unable to die. While never explicitly stated, it was implied that Iagong was responsible for forcing Lady Ethereal to remain alive, as none of the other souls had a motive for doing so. Over the 5 centuries after New Kunlun's launch, Lady Ethereal managed and stabilized the island's brain room. She converted the computing power obtained from 8-man brains into the vital sanctums network to serve the Solarians slumbering aboard the New Kunlun. Unable to die, Lady Ethereal lived in a constant hell within her soulscape. She experienced countless nightmares over her immense guilt, that she felt over her role in creating the Soulscape system, which inadvertently killed her 8 companions and likely resulted in the deaths of many other Solarians due to its flaws. Eventually, she lost the ability to distinguish between dreams and reality. Following the second loop, Lady Ethereal regresses back into her confused state. She asks Yi to take in the beauty and tranquility of the hot spring. Following the final loop, Yi arrives to a visibly distressed and unstable Lady Ethereal. She asks Yi where everyone went and why they disappeared. Yi attempts to comfort her, saying that although he doesn't know what happened in her lab, he can clearly see that she's mentally ill and her mental state is making the Soulscape extremely unstable. Lady Ethereal descends into a maniacal panic, frantically apologizing and rambling about her intense guilt surrounding the events of the Soulscape development. Yi tries to ask her to explain what happened during Soulscape development, and as he thought the Soulscape team was doing well. Recognizing Yi had missed her panic, Lady Ethereal begs him to punish her and put the blame on her. Unable to progress otherwise, Yi obeys this and beats her. Lady Ethereal tells Yi that beating isn't enough, and that someone like her doesn't deserve mercy. Yi expresses that he doesn't want to beat her again, and as it isn't going to solve anything. She ignores him and once again begs him to beat her. This time Yi's beating causes her to let out a screech of agony, triggering the transformation of Lady Ethereal into a nightmarish form, as well as the transformation of the hot springs in a gruesome bloodbath. The transformation of the hot spring releases the mystic nymph, returning it to Yi's possession and allowing him to use it again. With the help of the mystic nymph, Yi once again traverses Lady Ethereal's soulscape. This time, rather than looping, Yi enters a doorway that contains Lady Ethereal's last 2 memory fragments and her soul seal. These memory fragments reveal the truth behind the Soulscape project, that the Soulscape project was responsible for the deaths of Lady Ethereal's companions, but she was forced to lie about the success of the test in order to allow the Eternal Cauldron project to proceed. Yi proceeds away from the memory fragments towards Lady Ethereal's soul seal, which is positioned in front of a sobbing, blackening silhouette of Lady Ethereal. She declares that Yi is not real and tells him to get out, crushing him in between her palms. This ejects Yi from her soulscape. Upon ejection from the soulscape, Yi returns to reality and is able to see the true appearance of the room. Before him lies the brain room, which contains Lady Ethereal's vital sanctum and biological calculators made up in 8-man brains. Lady Ethereal's vital sanctum contains her brain and consciousness. Wishing to take her soul seal and share some words with her, Yi re-enters Lady Ethereal's soulscape, which now appears to be blank. Lady Ethereal asks why he returned. Positing that he returned for revenge, Yi contradicts this notion, telling her that he wants to sit down and speak with her, and as he doesn't want to fight her. Lady Ethereal says that there's nothing to talk about, recalling how when the council had went after him and killed him, she hadn't said a thing and watched Yi die. She likens the council's treatment of Yi to his treatment of her, blaming him for not stopping the flawed Eternal Cauldron project from happening. Yi questions how the system was flawed, and as he had always thought that the Soulscape system worked perfectly. Lady Ethereal explains that the flaw of the project is that it worked too perfectly, and that the eternal dream generated by the Soulscape system allowed people to live such blissful, idealized lives that people would lose the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. After ending the simulation created by the Soulscape system, this would cause some people to go insane, as they didn't want to wake up. Despite her efforts to adjust the system's parameters, she wasn't able to fully fix these flaws. Yi questions why she didn't tell him about the flaws earlier, but accepts her explanation, telling Lady Ethereal that he doesn't blame her for what happened. Wishing to solve the issues within the Soulscape system, Yi pleads with her to give him some time so that they can work out a solution together. Yi pleads an enraged Lady Ethereal, while she proclaims that the Eternal Cauldron project and the Vital Sanctums are all fancy caskets, and says that everyone is to blame for the results of the project. The blankness of Lady Ethereal's soulscape gives away a stage-like area. Looming in the background are trees shaped like Lady Ethereal's hand, from which 8 bloody cocoons of Lady Ethereal's companions chanting, "It's all Lady Ethereal's fault," and "Murderer." Centered between these trees is the silhouette of the black Lady Ethereal's head. Yi pleads with Lady Ethereal to give him some time so that he can work to her to solve the issues of the Soulscape system, but Lady Ethereal rejects this proposal, saying that it's too late and that the only 2 options for Yi would be to either kill her or become trapped within her Soulscape to atone for their sins together. This forces Yi to engage in a battle with her. Throughout the fight, the background of the area becomes increasingly more nightmarish. The second phase of the fight causes a large gash to form in the silhouette of the black and the back of Lady Ethereal's head, beneath which lies a beating organ. finally, in the third phase of the fight, causes a monstrous butterfly to emerge from the gash. The butterfly's wings bears eyes whose pupils constantly move around, which was honestly one of our favorite boss fights, and such cool to see this background changing throughout the different phases in the fight. When Yi defeats her, Lady Ethereal collapses to the ground and reverts to her normal appearances wearing formal attire. Now calm, Lady Ethereal rises to her feet and apologizes to Yi for having seen her in such a disheveled state. She explains that she doesn't know how she's still alive, as she had cut off all of her life support systems and her vital sanctum. Yi's hypothesis is that someone outside was keeping her alive and did so by hooking her brain back into her vital sanctum. She tells him that it no longer matters and instead begins to reflect on her years of torment within the vital sanctum. She posits that the reason why she experienced nightmares within her soulscape was because she felt the only way that she could comfort herself was by punishing herself. Yi's arrival, however, changed her mind, and in reality, the comfort that she truly yearned for was someone to recognize the pain and hurt she suffered. She thanks Yi for speaking to her, declaring that she faced her sins. She tells Yi that it is now his turn to do so, and peacefully passing away and granted him her soul seal. Upon her death, Lady Ethereal's vital sanctum changes appearances, her brain and nervous system slump over, signifying her passing. Additionally, her passing also allows Yi to be able to see the Shanghai 9000 of the central core, as well as what appears to be the remains of the Dust Guardian, from which sprouts a fungal flower bearing the greater Tao fruit. Lady Ethereal's soulscape reflects the chaos of her psyche, through stark contrast between a heaven-like surface and a hell-like core. The beautiful opalescent layer represents what she most yearns for, idyllic times for her 8 cherished companions. To this end, Lady Ethereal constantly imagines their presence by her side, where they can live out their days together in peace in the comforting waters of a hot spring and a breathtaking soulscape, while blocking out the agony of reality. Meanwhile, the hellish dark layer of her soulscape represents the deep, tar-like guilt that she carries for creating the soulscape system, which robbed her of her beloved friends of their lives, as well as the lives of many Solarians that trusted in the safety of her system. Constant reminders of her guilt, and dotted across the hellish soulscape in the forms of her friends accusing her of being guilty, grisly memories of her friends, and fleshly beasts that signify the gruesome consequences of her actions. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and supporting our channel. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications if you enjoyed our gaming content and would like to see more videos like this. Leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought of this video, and if you'd like to see more Nine Souls gameplay and videos. Let us know if you'd like to see more videos with the lore or without the lore, where we just show the boss fights, or if you'd like to hear more storytelling about the bosses. Let us know what your preferences are. We're excited to be back posting videos again, and we have a lot of content to share since we last posted, and have a lot of different gaming content coming up on our channel with over 200 videos. So go explore our channel and check out all of our different playlists and videos that we have posted here for you to watch. You can also follow us on Instagram by clicking the link in the description or searching Alien Horizon 02 on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us and for taking some time to watch our video. You can continue to support our channel just by dropping a like or sharing our video with anyone that you think would appreciate this video. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video, so stay tuned for the Lady Ethereal boss fight with no damage or direct damage.